as early as when I was 11 years, I started singing around, and then believing that, well, one day I would like to sing, even though I was not too sure if I had the talent. You know, I never knew that I had the talent, but I knew that I was able to sing some nice melodies right from when I was like 11 years. But I just thought it was for fun. And then I formed a drama group somewhere in 1995. Yes, I think 95. Yes, 95. And then yes, we had people there who were singing, some were dancing, and that was where the whole inspiration, started. And then I wrote my very first song around that period, 1995, 1996. Sometimes I listen to some of the music that I made, some of the poems that I wrote, and then I will just tell myself, oh, this poem, this song, I could have taken a little bit more of, some time to work on that. You see, a lot of my poems in the past, I wrote all these in the studio. I just wrote a chorus, got a very nice chorus, went into the studio because I knew that with poetry, Blakk Rasta can write any poem at any time, But now I sit back and I tell myself, maybe this word, I could have changed it to that. I could have used a better word. But that is it with creativity. You grow with creativity. So yes, I wish I could change some of the things that I did in the past, some of the songs that I wrote in the past. Yes, I was an academician. Right from the start, it was all about the academics. My father, an academician, mother, academician. So it was all about the academics. And you know how it is when you want to veer from the academics and do something that the so-called riff-raffs in the society do. Musicians are seen as people who abuse drugs, people who are failures in life, people who are, hopeless. So moving from the academics and going into this was a problem. People would tell you, oh, no, that is not you. Let the other people, let the smokers and the drunkards do that. You are an academician. And this was after sixth form. And in those days, it was not even easy to go to the sixth form. So a young boy at the sixth form, probably the youngest in the school, kind of. It wasn't something that I was encouraged to do. But a few friends also encouraged me and said, oh, you're writing good music. This is good. Did you write it yourself? And then we had to follow it up like that. No, I never did. There was only one time I was on stage and I was struggling to be in key. And there was the crowd. I was doing it. I remember so clearly. So I told myself, no, you are struggling too much. This is not your thing. Why don't you go and work in the office? Why don't you go and do something that is academic? I told myself that when I was on stage because I was struggling. I came on stage and for like 5 minutes, I was struggling. And these are the biggest moments of every musician. The first 5 minutes on stage. You are on stage, the people are shouting, they are screaming your name, and then you come and you are struggling to stabilize. I told myself, well, maybe what some people are telling me is true. Blakk Rasta, the music thing is not for you. But just after the 5 minutes, the people started cheering, everything was going on good, and then I got into the groove again. So I postponed that idea. I write for anybody who has ears, because if you don't have ears, you cannot listen to the vibe. You see, what I do is I write music and I write poetry. So if you don't even like my melodies, listen to the poetry. Most of the time I just start by whistling, and whistling comes to me naturally. Maybe I'm seated somewhere waiting for somebody. And whilst waiting for the person, if there's nobody around me to talk to, things just start running in my mind and I start whistling. Before I realize I have a melody. Oh wow, this sounds like a good melody. Okay, but it normally starts from whistling because I don't play melodious instruments like the guitar, like the keyboards. I just do percussions, So the rhythm is already in the head, but the melody comes from me whistling. I whistle one melody for a very long time, perfect it, and I record it on my phone. Once that creative block comes in, what happens is that there's a block. So how do I break that block? I just relax and watch nature. I record what, I was able to get before that block. See? So anytime that block is broken, maybe I just drink herb tea, or maybe I just rest and look at nature. I'm a lover of nature. Look at the birds flying. And before I realize, I wind down. That's when I lost my wife in 2012. From that time onwards, I was writing sorrowful songs, saying when Sakina left. I never knew that I love you so, till you pack up and go along so. I never knew that I love you so, Sakina, till you pack up and go along so. Come back to me, oh sweet Sakina, I am empty without your love. Come back to me, oh sweet Sakina, I am empty without your love. I remember I was driving around Portsing area, alone, watching and admiring nature. Then the melody started ringing in my ear. Eish, Abba Melody, Abba Melody. Then I was developing it and I recorded it and boom. Now, so emotions play a very serious part. The other day I saw a little boy who died in a hospital because he didn't have funds. Parents had no money. Children came from other schools and contributed coins to get him out, but he ended up dying. And from that time, I wrote child melodies. Children's melodies. Bobby, Bobby, don't you cry. Bobby, Bobby, don't be sad. Bobby, Bobby, come back home, please. Mama would be left alone. She would be so lonely. She would be so worried. Bobby, Bobby, oh Bobby, 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 please, Bobby. Simple children's singable, sing-along melodies. From that time, I wrote songs like that. So it depends on the mood, certainly. My moods affect my mood. When people fight me, I write militant lyrics. When I have enemies around me, I sing judgmental songs. When I see so much corruption around, I burn fire in my songs. So it depends on the mood. Yeah, man. Well, there are songs that I did and the end products I got so disappointed, but 90% of my songs or even more, I start and then the end overwhelms me because I give the other side of the creativity to my producers. Of course, I go into the studio depending on who I record with. I'm able to tell you that, okay, I want a bass line like this. I want a flute here. I want that, and this is the line. But I record most of the time with Zap Mallet, and he is a guru. He knows Blakk Rasta's melodies, my line of melodies. Sometimes I will sing a melody and he will say that, oh, Blakk Rasta, this melody, dear, you know what? We need to get this person, that person to be on that, to play this instrument or that instrument. And yeah, we let it work. We let it happen. So yeah, most of the time, my work comes out superb. But other times, I write a song and I like the lyrics. I like the melody. I go into the studio and I'm getting some kind of, so I just dash it off and try to work on another one. Most of the time when I'm alone, most of the time when there's nobody around me, I create a lot. Most of the time when I am all alone and I am in a natural environment, like a forest, riverside, seaside, and I can create like crazy. I will write and write and write and write. Yes, it's by understanding the world you are in. You can never write anything if you don't understand. How do you write about a bird when you have never seen one? See, you must open up your spirit and yourself to the world. You must be knowledgeable. You must be open-minded. You are not gay, but you got to know how gays behave. So that when you are writing about gays, you can write something that a gay person can read and say, wow, this person must be gay. That's a good writer. You're not a Muslim. You must study how Muslims behave and what they do. So when you are writing, somebody somewhere who is a Muslim reads and says, this guy must be a Muslim. That is creativity. Oh yeah. I was inspired by Raskimono from the start. Very creative, lyrically, and presentation-wise. Bob Marley, There are a lot of Ghanaian artists that I would listen to and I say that, oh, this is good. Neil Ante is one such artist. I like to listen to what Neil Ante does. You see, and a few other artists around. You see, that is it. And I'm inspired by that as well. I say, wow, if I had this voice, I'll be doing this, I'll be doing this, I'll be doing that. You know, yeah. Yeah, certainly I would have loved to meet Bob Marley. True. I would have loved to meet Bob Marley. I would have loved to meet Bob Marley. Apart from Bob Marley, Peter Tosh. Unfortunately, they are both gone. See? Rasta Congo, 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 Congo. Congo Bongo. Aye, Rasta, Rasta, Rasta. Rasta Congo, yeah. Somebody must say, the mother Christian man, hey. Really for them say, the mother magician man. You see, magician, Christian, Muslim, but all of us belong to God. Concentrate on being yourself. Some of you should get inspired by somebody, yes? But remember, you are you. You are you. God created everybody to be different in a certain way. No two people are ever the same. That's why when you look at our palms, we all have different markings. No two markings are the same. No two fingerprints are the same. Never. See? God is a creative. 1 billion people in China. Another almost whatever billion in India and so on and so forth. And nobody has the same, that's creativity. So everybody is different. Your DNA is different from my DNA. For that reason, yes, you get inspired by me. You try to be like me. But you realize that you cannot be me. There are things that I have that you don't have. So that will sway you into being you. So I encourage the youth, yes, it's good to try to be like Blakk Rasta. Continue, but along the way, know that you're not Blakk Rasta. Your real self will come. And when it comes, don't reject it. Follow it. Another person will like to be like you.